Hey, this is Scotty Austin, formerly from the band Saving Abel and currently from the band Scotty Austin. And you're listening to the Nonsense Chronicles with Doug and Rob. Rock on!
Hello and welcome to the Nonsense Chronicles. This is Doug Sashery, and as always, I'm joined by, but this time shockingly to my right,
Rob Mendiola.
Greetings, Rob.
Don't be shocked, man.
Well,
I'm still here.
I know. Man, it's end of the year, man.
It is end of the year.
That's right.
This will probably go up a few days.
Yep.
Make it before the end of the year.
This will go up. In fact, this will go up about the same time the ball drops.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Sweet.
this will ring in 25.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. And
Today,
we
let's
have
get on with it.
Well, okay. All right. Well, yeah, we have a guest with us today, and
We do.
I want to introduce Goodtime Charlie.
You know, we never really actually got to sit down and do any kind of pre-interview.
No, we
No.
don't do that. We just go straight from the
We freestyle,
straight
man.
from the hip, man.
Well, I mean, me and Rob, if me and Rob got on the phone together, you could forget about the last hour and a half of your day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes we do. Sometimes we'll do show notes. It just depends. But yeah, I'm definitely going blind in here. But you know, when I was growing up, and shows my age because we don't hear the term too much. But Goodtime Charlie was like a description for somebody who, like, oh yeah, he's a Goodtime Charlie. Somebody went
Right.
out and had a good time or whatever. But your name actually is Charlie.
Well,
is.
it's Charles, but
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the same
I've been
thing.
called
Same
that since
thing,
high
yeah.
school.
Yeah.
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 So Goodtime Charlie, man.
And you know, nobody gives you, or you don't give yourself a nickname.
A nickname?
No.
If you do, everyone should call you Dildo.
Yeah.
Like if you are one of those guys that like they call me this and nobody called you that, you call yourself that.
Yeah.
So you never went up to anybody and said, "I want to be called Sting. Call me Sting."
You can call
No.
me, you can call me the
No.
Breeze.
I started doing karaoke about 11 years ago.
Oh, I didn't know
And,
you did it that long
yeah,
ago. Wow.
Yeah. And one of the places, it was just a beer bar. You could bring your own liquor in. So back then I was drinking a handle of Jim Beam a day, and it was just, I always had it. And you would come up, sign up for a song, and it was a Goodtime Charlie shot. You know, sit around and do a shot,
good.
you put in a song, and yeah,
So it stuck.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
I'd have thought
Well,
something
when
like
I first
cooler.
met you, I didn't know you as Goodtime Charlie.
Well, that's because none of the guys, I mean, it just,
Yeah.
I don't know why. It was
You were
weird.
what band were you in at the time? I met
Southern
you?
Retaliation.
Southern Retaliation. That's right. I had some pretty cool shirts and stuff.
Yeah, it was. We had a good time doing that.
Yeah. I
That's
remember
about
that.
all it was.
Southern rock. Good old Southern rock.
No, it was like Southern Rock Blues.
Yeah.
It was one of those deals
I mean,
where
that's Southern rock's blues.
the way Mike Slay, the first time I met you guys,
Yeah.
you and Mike, was at Acadia, I think.
Probably,
We
yeah.
were
I think it
playing
was
with
Acadia.
Westfield.
Yep.
And Mike was like, and the way he described it is the way I describe it to everyone now is I can get up and go take a piss and come back, and it definitely sounds like that's a different song.
Yeah.
Like it's too common now where you get up and go get a beer and you come back and you can't tell whether the band has started another song or is still playing the one that they
Yeah,
were
there's,
playing
there's a
before,
few out there like that, yeah.
you know. So we
But
always
then-
tried to keep that aspect.
But then you transitioned from being a vocal front to doing more of the,
No, I started doing karaoke to begin with.
yeah, okay, so you
Yeah,
went karaoke.
If you'd have asked me at 18 that if I was doing this now, I'd be told you were crazy.
Yeah.
I couldn't talk into a mic.
So now is that your full-time gig now?
It is full time.
Wow.
Yeah, I quit my day job about 2 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah,
Went all in.
went all in.
Yeah, I've seen you out there doing shows with, or events, I should
Mm-hmm.
say, at places with people like Outlaw Dave.
Yeah.
Who we've done some stuff
I've
with
been
before.
very fortunate to have Dave in my life, in my corner.
In your corner.
You know, not many people can say that
Yeah.
the guy you listened to your whole life,
Yeah.
you know, is giving you advice. You know, I remember going to shows with my mom when I was a kid, you know, and Rock 101 was always sponsored. And
Yeah.
they were always there, and Dave was always on stage. And, you know, I told my mom, I don't want to be in a band. I want to do what that guy does.
Yeah.
I want to just come out and talk shit to people.
So
Yeah.
when did you officially, get on stage start telling a few jokes?
As a comedian,
Yeah.
That's right. You're doing comedy now, right?
as a comedian, June 23.
Oh wow, it's pretty fresh.
June of 23. Yeah, I mean, as an entertainer, as a host, as somebody that goes out and talks, you don't really think of it as comedy.
Yeah,
You just
You know-
shooting from the hip.
Shooting from the hip. You got to carry a crowd for 4 hours, and half of them are already pissed off because karaoke's there.
Yeah.
So there's that aspect of it.
So do you mix your comedy with your karaoke?
Oh, you have to.
Yeah, is that how it works?
It's really just about carrying a room.
Yeah,
Same concept.
reading the room and kind of seeing what needs to be
Because,
done.
you've got a bunch of people there that are there for karaoke.
Yeah,
But you've also got a bunch of other people there that, man, they could care less.
yeah,
I remember walking into a room when I first started and like starting to set up my gear and you could tell all the old guys were getting up and walking out. They've been here since noon
yeah,
and they're not going to sit here and listen to karaoke.
yeah.
Not going to do it.
So what kind of crowd does go to karaoke, you think? What would you say? Is it a typical type of crowd? Is it always like the same kind of people that go?
Karaoke singers are very habitual, especially over a certain age.
Some of them
Like,
get
if you
pretty serious though, right?
If you get karaoke singers over, I'd say 55, between 55 and 80, your karaoke singers, like, if you change one thing about it, they're done. They expect the same thing every single week. Same person, same mic, same version of the song. Like, until they get to a point where, that's not the right version. Jim, it's the same version that you've been singing for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, here's my question. Top three songs done karaoke in your
Top three or top three that I could never go, top three or
Did you-
top
oh.
three that I could go the rest of my life without hearing again?
No, because I know that it's going to be the same thing in some cases, but the top three that get requested.
Top three that get requested?
Yeah.
Picture by Kid Rock.
Oh wow, isn't that a duet?
That's what chicks doing
yeah.
that one.
That's a
yeah.
duet
Yeah,
though, right?
and it's always the
Chicks.
drunkest woman in the room.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
And nobody ever wants to do it with her, so therefore I get stuck doing it with her because,
Okay.
it's my
Why
job.
not? Yeah, good
So,
time.
You get somebody that wants to do it at 8, and then you get somebody that wants to do it again at 10.
It's like
And then you get
like
the
swim meet.
really drunk one at around 1:30.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, they always want to make eye contact, and their boyfriend's sitting right there, drunk as,
Yeah,
it's awkward. But
cool.
Number two.
number 2,
Yeah. me
strawberry
three.
wine.
Oh wow, okay, that's country, right?
Yeah, I could go
Yeah.
the rest of my life without hearing that song.
And what would be one more?
One more,
Yeah.
anything by Shania Twain.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what would feel like a woman, or what is it?
doesn't
down,
matter.
down.
Red as your shoes been
Yeah.
up, whatever the fuck.
I mean, she's a superstar.
And yeah,
So I can understand that. Yeah,
every
she sounds fun too. Like to probably just sing.
middle-aged white woman in the United States. Yeah,
Yeah.
She always looks like she's having fun. Doing her shows. So.
Yeah, I'm pro Shania.
Yeah, she looks like she's always having a good time, which is important. Yeah,
if you're not having a good time, what are you doing?
that's right. She's got happy music, I
Hell are
guess.
you doing? So now are you going out and doing just comedy sets now?
No, there's no money in it.
So you want the mix, the multi-tool set where you can do that.
I like to be able to just go out and do a show.
Okay.
You've got all these people.
So it's
that
your
are
show.
so-
It doesn't. Yeah, it comes
Yeah.
all encompassing with this and that.
So it's comedy and
It's just a show.
karaoke.
It's just, I mean,
You're just calling it just a show.
it's just a show.
Yeah.
Like if you want me to come out and set up, it's 4 hours. If we've got 30 karaoke singers, we've got 30 karaoke singers. But there's got to be a show aspect to it.
So in between karaoke, what's happening? Is it comedy or is it more music?
It's music.
You're spending just music.
It's to the point where let's just say you've got 15 singers. They're all there for karaoke. So if you're playing 5 songs in between, you're pissing them off and they're leaving. So you've got a bunch of people there that don't care about karaoke, but they're there. They want to have a good time. So at the end of your rotation, you play 2 songs that you know for a fact those people are going to get up and go on the dance floor. So as long as they get to hear at least one song that they want to hear, they'll put up with the rest of it.
You ever hosted a comedy night?
We're gonna go do one tonight. I don't host it. My buddy Bao Wen hosts it. It's at Big Star Bar over off of 610 in Durham. It's a midnight mic industry night. It's always packed. We'll probably have 25, 30 karaoke or comedy.
What bar is that?
Comedians. It's called Big Star Bar.
Big Star. Where is that at?
It's 610. You get off at like Durham
Oh, okay.
and take a left.
Kind of Heights area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's right down there from Shady Acres.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea about that. You know, you hosting. I think that would be a good idea. I'd like to see some.
The
of
difference
those.
is a host, being a host, and doing stand up comedy. It's really two different things.
No,
Like,
but the host gets to come up and say a couple.
Yeah, but you
And then
still
get
have
off.
to keep that host mentality. You
Yeah.
don't want to like go up there and just hammer these people with material.
Yeah.
No.
Nobody leave it to the guys. You're there to pump up the comedian. You're not there to like look at me, look at
Yeah.
me, look at me.
Well, I think the way that they did it on the original Kings of Comedy, where Steve Harvey would give a little bit, he'd have a little fun, but then he'd
Yeah.
give it up to that guy. Or
Seemed like
that's
they always threw something out there anyway.
Yeah,
Little bits.
yeah. I think that.
No, I mean everybody says that was Steve Harvey's thing. I mean,
Oh,
Bernie Mac was 10 times
Oh,
funnier than
Bernie!
Steve Harvey.
No, in fact,
Oh,
that's
man.
where I learned about Bernie Mac. Was right then and right there, and to me, it was night and day. He was the king.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and lost that guy way too damn soon.
Oh,
Man. Yeah, because it's so unfair because I was just discovering so much of him. Like from that point to when he passed, I didn't have enough. Like
Yeah, I mean, guys like him could have done so much more than a sitcom.
oh God, yeah,
You know what I mean? He
was just touching the movie stuff,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
yeah,
And I think he's always going to be known as that sitcom guy.
yeah.
Because he, like you said, was too early. I mean, he wasn't very young.
No, but what did we
No.
have? What do we have a stretch like? Maybe 13 years between Kings of Comedy and when he passed. That's a guess. Was it that long? Maybe.
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't
What
know.
year was Kings of Comedy?
That's a good question.
Very good
I
question.
don't know.
We all have computers in our pockets.
I
And we
know.
ask questions.
Well, we're just gonna have to leave that up to you, the guest,
Hey,
the
Siri.
listener out there, to
Dude, the listeners are gonna have to just figure it out.
tell us what we're doing wrong. But
We're not smart enough.
what about
Well, Goodtime Charlie, you were doing some film work too with the Live at Bill's.
Oh, Live at
event.
Bill's?
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Did
kinda
y'all
sad
ever
to
get a
see
chance
that
to go?
kinda-
Did
What
you
was
ever
that?
get a chance to go and be?
I did, yeah.
Like
I went and saw Lucid Illusions. That's when I first saw them there.
the second time, first time or second time?
First time I believe.
That was our very first
Yeah.
band we ever had on.
I saw that. Now let me ask you this. I remember because did that start during the pandemic?
That was
Yes.
before.
Right? 'Cause-
No, it was.
Was it before? Oh, it was.
We started
You're right.
because
You're right.
Southern Retaliation started in May
Yes.
of 2020.
Yeah.
And my first thought was, we're never gonna what is
Yeah.
the point of starting a band right now? And it turned out that we actually got more opportunity as a local artist because none of the mainstream artists were touring.
Yeah.
So all these places that where the mainstream artists were playing, they still want to stay in business. They still have to be in business.
Yeah.
No, it's
So
it's
they're
like
giving opportunity to us.
it's
Yeah.
like I told Michael Kennedy, man, get on camera.
I love Michael Kennedy.
Yeah, I said,
Yeah.
Mike, get on camera, and he started doing the crazy shit with the little clock and all that. But yeah, no, get out there and play. I mean, that kept, it gave me some sanity.
It did.
While that was going on. But I mean, people that were doing music, if you weren't writing during that period, you lost a good opportunity.
Right.
Because,
That probably helped Live at Bill's too, though, during that time, right?
it had to. That's where. Yeah, that's why I saw it.
Live. So have you been there too?
I didn't even. Let me tell you right now. I did not even know this exactly was a place you could go. All I know was Live at Bill's was during COVID. It was a place where I could watch bands.
That's
Yeah.
so cool.
That is
Yeah.
cool, huh?
That is so cool for me to hear you say that.
That's actually my opinion. That's all I know.
Are they
I've
still
never,
doing it?
I've never. I mean, I don't know if we've ever met, but like to hear like people you've never met before start talking about something that you,
Yeah. You were reaching these people,
yeah,
not knowing, yeah.
I met Bill Wilkerson.
And he's a big YouTube guy, so
Okay, I met Bill Wilkerson when I got fired when Southern Retaliation tossed me out.
kind of broke up. Yeah.
Yeah, the first time.
Yeah.
and it turned into this big social media debacle. And Bill Wilkerson reached out to me. He says, I don't know how we know all the same people and we've never met before, but I want you in my studio. So the next day I went over there and we ended up 4 or 5 hours later, hanging out, having a good time. And
from what I remember, y'all used to go late into the nights, right?
Yeah,
Even after the show.
I mean, some of the coolest things happened after that. You know what I mean? Because you've got musicians hanging out in a studio where, like, if you want to record it, all you gotta do is press a button.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, dude, that was that.
And we just had Angela Crochet in here.
Yeah, I love Angela.
Yeah, we just had her in here.
I love Angela and Tony.
Yeah, that place, that broadcast, like I said to me, it was
It was
It was a
cool.
lifesaver, dude. That was a freaking, port in a storm,
I love hearing people say that, because
I wish they still did it live.
it was doing it live was a very crucial part of it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was a very risky part of it. Like
Well, anything live, yeah.
when Bill, because me and Bill, the moment it was always talked about, it was always that elephant in the room. You know what I mean? And then Bill called me one day, and I sat in the parking lot. I'll never forget. I was sat in the parking lot of a gas station at the pump for an hour and a half, having this conversation with Bill.
Wow.
And he asked me. He said, "Do you think we should do this pre-recorded?" He said, "I'm thinking about not doing it live anymore." Absolutely not. It's called
Live at Bill's. Yeah.
That is very unique about it. Let
Yeah.
me ask you this, because
But it did cause a lot of problems.
Yeah.
I imagine. Let me ask you this: is it? I was under the impression it was at somebody's house.
It is.
It is.
Okay.
It's like a
is.
semi basement. Because
No, it's the whole bottom floor of
the
the
whole
house.
bottom floor of the house, right?
There's no basement.
Yeah, but when you walk into his house, it's like when you go to the front door, you kind
You
of
go
seem like
up.
you walk
yeah.
up.
When you go to the
So,
front door, the
yeah.
front door goes to the second story.
Okay, yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
And the back door,
I remember
back
like
door goes
when I
into
went
the
in, I went
studio.
up into the house,
Right.
and then down into the studio.
You know what? When people would do that, I love it when people, I would almost send them that way.
Yeah,
So now they're like, where the fuck am
yeah.
I? Right. They don't
get
even
kinda
know where
turned
they're
around.
at anymore.
But it's a very cool. It's a studio basically. It's a recording studio.
Yeah.
With a full stage.
It's, Pride Studios, Bill was recording music there.
Yeah.
I've only heard about legendary parties, because the thing is whenever all the venues would close, all the band, nobody was done partying yet. So, I mean, they would just set up in that room where the bar and all that is.
Yeah.
And they would just the bands would go from the club to there, and now you've got a party.
Now, how close are his neighbors to that place?
It was all soundproofed, I think,
No,
right?
Yes and no. I mean, but the thing is, what I always loved about it was a lot of his neighbors down one side, like you could go out and they're sitting in their driveway watching
That's
it on
nice.
TV,
Good,
and they're
good,
having a
good.
good time, and like they think it was cool that's just right down the street.
Yeah,
I mean,
that is cool.
so he had some neighbors right next door, and their name. Did you ever get a chance to meet Brent and Kelly?
No.
So Brent and Kelly, Brent, I forget how old he was, but he was he worked for some engineering company, and it's a Scottish guy, real thick Scottish accent. And he would come over and just get drunk, and he just loved being there.
Yeah.
But him and his wife are very unique.
It's like having a bar next to your
His
next door.
wife was an opera singer.
Oh, wow.
For the Houston Symphony Orchestra Choir, and she was
Wow.
extremely talented, and they would just show up and hang out all night,
That's cool.
and you just never knew. But both of them could pick up any instrument and play it.
Oh, damn.
Like you walk in their house and they just had instruments all over the walls,
Wow.
and he could pick up any one of them and play it. And he would, if he seen my car in the driveway, he knew we were there, we were awake, we were doing something. Didn't matter what time it was. And I'm glad you brought this up. I love Brent. I love Brent and Kelly. They were they were that unique little part of this show that like they were right next door, And one day he decided he was going to build a half pipe in his backyard, and he hadn't been on a skateboard in 20 years.
Oh.
That's never a good idea.
Built the half pipe, dropped in, broke his leg.
Yeah.
But so, like you said, all hours of the night. And
Yeah, I've heard about the parties. Yeah.
Brent come over, and it was, I don't know, 2 a.m, and he would just want to record something, whatever it was.
Yeah.
He would just have an idea, or somebody would show up. Phil would show up,
Yeah.
had an idea, and it was just like, it was so cool to see that.
Yeah.
Or you've got a band from wherever, and show's over, you're sitting around having some drinks, and this idea comes together.
Yeah.
And the studio is
Which
one
happens in
of the,
studios.
one of the, like, you get people talking about it, and then all of a sudden you're sitting there listening to it.
Yeah. That's cool.
Like, you just bring your ideas to life. Live at Bill's is where people could go and bring their ideas to life.
Yeah. That's cool.
It was amazing.
Are they still doing it now?
Yes.
Kind of.
And
Just-
I talked to Bill before I come over here, and I really wanted him
wow.
to come out here with me.
You have to cue him up, Doug?
Yeah, we'll have to get him out. Like I said, to me, you can tell him. I don't know if I've ever run across him before.
So if we talk about something, you can take it out if need be, right?
Yeah,
If need be, yeah.
you got a week to do.
Now, okay.
You got a week. You got about how many days to decide? You got about 2 days.
Yeah.
Is it possible to like get him on the phone? No?
Yeah, we could.
Yeah. Well, the
could.
thing is
Well, let's do it again. We'll have another
We'll
episode.
just do it another- yeah.
We'll have it. We'll have him
okay.
and you
So
both on.
there's, I just got the phone call yesterday that I think I'm gonna go back to the show.
Okay,
and
cool.
book bands.
Good deal.
Well, that's not bad. That's good news.
I just didn't know. I don't know. I just talked to him yesterday about it,
Yeah.
but it's a good. They asked me to come back to the show. So
Where's that place at, by the way?
Cypress. It's not far from here.
Right off
Okay.
Telge in like 290 area. That's how I went there.
What's the name of that road? No, not it was.
I went. I exited Telge and I went all the way down to like Cypress
Yeah,
something
something like
Fairbanks.
that.
Yeah,
somewhere.
tell him.
It's not far from here.
You can tell him that I can guarantee you, I really appreciated it during the mix when we couldn't get out.
Yeah, he'll
And-
dig that.
And I'll offer to cook anytime.
Oh, thank God, because I was the one that had to do all that.
I'll do a little Tony Sashers for him, man.
Every show that we did, a post from a couple that just wasn't able to be there for. One of the things that I enjoyed doing was I would decide what I'm going to cook, book the band, decide what I'm going to cook, and then all day you get the barbecue pit out back. So the bands are rehearsing and sound checking, and all you can smell is food all day. So it was just that experience.
That's
Yeah,
what-
it's just a big entertaining. He
It
loves
was-
entertaining people. It
was
seems
an
like
experience for the
Yeah.
artist.
That's what.
Yeah.
That's what my house is. My house is they come and play in town, and then about 2:30 or so they show up at my house and it's meal on,
Yeah.
and that's what last night was, and then it was
yeah.
pretty,
So Bill's like you in that regard. Y'all like entertaining people and
pretty simple last
having
night.
having all the musicians around.
It was really just a place to give an artist an opportunity to
Yeah.
to have something that they would never get the opportunity to.
Yeah, no, it was really cool. I think the whole production was actually done really well.
Oh, you want to know an interesting little side fact while we're thinking about this? And it's left field, but most of my thinking is left field. But
Hey man, there's got to be somebody standing in left field. If not, they'd make a home run every time.
they give you a router, okay, when you've got your fiber and all that stuff. Well, I just had to spend like $700 and something on a router from
Damn.
Best Buy, and the reason why every band that's ever come through logs in with their IP, and well, you got so many goddamn IPs. I was like, listen, I need almost unlimited. So yeah, that's how much you spend when you want a router like that. So that way
Wow.
it doesn't lock up or load up with so many already on there. Because yeah, man, you get a ton of those things after a while. But yeah, I ain't got that problem anymore at my house.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was another like.
Well,
we
I
would
remember
always have
when
people
I went.
buffering and
Yeah, when I went, y'all had multi-camera, but y'all were doing it with cell phones, like iPhones,
Yeah,
right?
you were
Very
day
first
one.
ones, yeah.
Let me
Day
tell you,
one,
man,
yeah.
y'all did it. That looked like.
But then y'all
first-class
upgraded,
man.
right? Y'all went to
Oh, you
full
wouldn't even
digital.
recognize the
Yeah.
place. You wouldn't
Yeah.
even recognize the place anymore. It looks incredible. I was just over there not too long ago, and
That's
it's
exciting,
just,
man. I hope y'all do get
you
it
walk
going.
in and it looks like some Howard Stern shit.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That was the reaction
I mean, it was
we got from everybody. Was
It was impressive
this
before,
looks
but
like some Howard?
if
Stern.
y'all have gotten it to another level, then that's going to be awesome.
Y'all, they have done so much since I've left. Like, you know, when we started it, it was Bill and
Yeah.
Phil and
Yeah.
Steve Newcomer and Brad, and they were building this show around. Do you remember the reunion, the After Dark reunion
Yeah.
that they did at
Yes.
Whirlwinds? Now, that show was originally supposed to just be like a promotional deal for the reunion. That's all it was.
Yeah.
And we were just COVID hit,
Yeah.
and it's just like these bands have nowhere to go. And we were talking about this show, and Bill was just pitching me this idea. Phil and Bill were talking about this. I don't know, why aren't we doing it?
Yeah.
What is stopping you from doing this? And then our band got back together, Southern Retaliation, and we just decided, you know what? Let's just film a pilot.
Yeah.
Let's just, no rhyme, reason, no live, no nothing. Let's just we're the band. Let's see if we can make this happen. And we did. And you go back and watch it. We didn't, the format that was done that night, it didn't even get used. Originally, Steve Newcomer was supposed to host. Didn't happen.
Because Phil winded up taking that, right?
Yeah.
Phil Morrell. He's a drummer, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's a drummer.
Yeah. There was a lot of changes that were made very quickly.
And then Angela, when did Angela come in?
Angela has been there since day one.
Oh, wow. Cool.
I mean, day one, it was me, Angela, Phil, Brad, JR.
JR, yep.
God, I don't want to leave it. Phil, Brad, JR, Angela. Yeah. Until Jeff come along and did the lights.
Yeah.
And it was just, when you do something like that, like when I was in high school, when we did broadcast, we had a crew. And for 4 years, that was our crew.
Yeah.
Nobody, it was like you couldn't call in because we were at school. You were always there. So it was the same people all the time. So it was that consistency. And then when we started doing live at Bill's, it was like nobody ever called in. Nobody ever said, hey, I can't do it. Nobody, it was just like, we could be sick as a dog, but we were there.
Yeah.
You know, we could, I've there's been several times where I got on the fence with my job because I told him, I was like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I've always wanted to do. Like, I've never wanted anything more in my whole life. That's why I had to walk away, because I just had my son, and it was like, if I don't walk away from this right now, I'm going to lose.
Do you think you might ever go into radio or something?
I would love to.
Yeah.
I would love to. I just, baby steps.
Yeah.
You know, baby steps. Like,
Well, you're learning from some of the best, so.
I'm sitting across from one.
Oh, thanks.
Like, the night I met Rob Mandiola, he comes up to me after our set. He goes, man, that was awesome, dude. You guys are killer. And I said, what did you not like? And he just kind of looks at me like, who asked that kind of question? You know, who asked what they didn't? Nobody asked that question.
Yeah.
Like, I want to know.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Well, most people don't want to hear it.
Well, no, but
That's
a lot
another
of
thing.
Yeah, but I have more than a few musicians who are self-hating sons of bitches. You know,
Yeah.
especially when they have a song and they'll beat themselves up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Rob from 12 Years Driven, man.
I love Rob.
You got some bitches. That's a self-hating son of a bitch, man. He'll get up there when they're doing a song and they putting the song together and. Yeah, man. No, change it. I didn't do it again. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. It was perfect, man. Leave it alone.
Well, I grew up on Southern rock. I grew up on Leonard Skinner and stuff. So that kind of gave me that kind of feel.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, see, I like the fact that we always had a Southern rock blues. I like that blues aspect of it.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's in my DNA, which is weird that I've never played it, but it's always there, inside.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, because I mean, it's the nuts and bolts of pretty much all of it.
all rock and roll. Yeah.
Have you heard any Honeycut Southern?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love them.
Yeah,
man.
they're good.
That's
I actually
I
enjoyed their CD.
I had already left by the time
Yeah.
they were brought on, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I watched every show. And I didn't, I love Live at Bill's. Just because I left doesn't mean that
Did
I
Honeycut
didn't-
Southern do a Live at Bill's?
Mhm. Yeah,
wow,
I sure
okay.
did.
I didn't know they did. Yes.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah. Don't quote me on this, but I think at one point Honeycut Southern had the most views.
Wow, I wouldn't be
Of any
surprised.
of their videos. Yeah, they're very
yeah,
cool.
their record's really good.
I don't know what was said. I don't know what was rumored, but I've heard people will say anything when they don't know what they're talking about. And
Unfortunately,
they don't care
sometimes, yeah.
what it is they say because they already don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah,
So, I've heard people say that I was trying to keep bands from going on Live at Bill's, and I was like, why
yeah. Why would you do that anyway?
would I put so much work into a show just to keep people from watching it?
Yeah, you can't
That's dumb.
you can't worry about people like that, man.
That's dumb.
You're always gonna have people like that, and
I love those guys over there.
yeah.
Phil and Brad.
Well, I'm looking forward to it starting
JR,
back up, man. I hope y'all
like,
get it going.
When you spend that much time with people, like, it becomes a job. And
Do you think some of the originals are gonna come back?
I think they're pretty much right where they're at.
Okay.
That show pretty much runs itself.
Yeah.
You can't do it without the people that were there. But now that once you tighten everything up to a point where it's just, now you've got pilots sitting there watching it run.
Yeah.
It's still a lot of work. Don't discredit any of that.
Yeah.
But it took a lot more work to get to that point.
That's cool.
I booked 50 bands
Wow.
on that show, 50 episodes. And, just going out to the shows every night, hearing through the grapevine, hey, you need to get these guys, or hey, you need to get these guys. And then it got to a point where people were reaching out and saying, hey, how do I get on Live at Bill's? And then you get to a point where it's like you walk in the door at a local show and it's like, hey, that guy's looking for bands.
Yeah.
Like, now we know what Live at Bill's is and we want on.
Yeah.
What band wouldn't want something like that?
I think it's fantastic, dude. Like I said, that's I'll never forget the name simply because, like I said, it was when I had nothing.
That was
it. Gave me something. Yeah.
We had a band on, and I kicked myself for not being there when they were on, but a band called Surge.
Mm-hmm.
You ever heard of them?
I have heard of them. Yeah.
I think they're from San Antonio.
Yeah.
I think.
I think so. Yeah.
But we
think I've
found
seen
those
them.
guys because they would message into the show, hey, we are watching live. We love you
Yeah.
guys. We schedule our rehearsals
That's
on
cool.
the night so we can order pizza and rehearse and
That's
watch
cool.
Live at Bill's. And that was just so cool
cool.
to hear that. And then having them on, yeah.
Yeah. It's
But
So back to your DJ stuff. Do you have all your own equipment? So
Oh,
you
yeah.
drag all that out
Oh, yeah.
each time? Wow,
that was
that's
the
a lot.
best part about waiting 10 years to start
lot
my
of
own
work.
company was there's no overhead. Like,
Yeah.
I don't have to go, somebody says, oh, well, they're going to start their own company. Now they got to go and invest a bunch of money into equipment and this and that. And
So you were just building yours as you went?
10 years.
Yeah, 10 years building it.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now,
and,
I saw you just did Lawler's and Ice's wedding.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was a good
You were there.
good show. I was there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were there.
I was supposed to be there.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. That was
Damn it, Doug.
I think it was surgery.
Whenever when I get booked to do a wedding, I'm the only entertainment there.
Yeah.
It was the first time I was like, I
Yeah,
asked
you got
Doug,
to
how long are you
share-
going to play for? He goes, I don't know, 45 minutes. I said, well, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, they had Doug Westcott.
307.
307. Yeah.
And I can't remember what that magician, he was a street magician.
That's was it your guy?
Scabs?
Was it Scabs?
No, not
No?
Scabs.
Okay.
No, I know Scabs.
Okay. No, it wasn't Scabs. You're right. I remember. I didn't stay that late, but I did
No.
see video. It wasn't
I've known
Scabs.
Scabs since he was doing 8E Tribe.
We had Scabs in the studio.
Yeah, Chris is a
Yeah.
good guy.
He is an interesting fella.
I told the story the first night I met. I started going out and seeing live music in it. I started in the Dallas scene because I had a lot of friends there. Started going to Deep Ellum, and I was going to see a friend's band, and I walked in, and Chris and a bunch of people on stage. And I'm like, what the living hell is this S? And yeah, like Chris had to pull a spider out, tarantula out of his mouth. I'm like, what the?
A
Be
live one?
glad he pulled it out of his mouth.
Yeah,
A live one?
A live one.
No way.
A live one. And
Oh, damn.
as fate would turn out, that band that he was going to see was in Houston next week. Everybody was at my house, and Chris was at my house, and we became really good friends. But yeah, I just remember the shock. I'll never forget it, man. Just saying, what the hell is this guy? So yeah, that's a talent.
He's in your Tony Satchery commercial.
Yeah, that Cream and him did a spot recently that I had an idea, and I wanted to do some flames. I said, "Oh, I know just the guy for this." Yeah,
He eats
he's
fire.
so unique. This guy has a unique talent
Of letting people staple money to anything on his body.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, that's right.
That's right. This guy,
Jesus.
this is our local jackass. Yeah,
It was the bigger the bill, the sweeter the spot.
that's
Ouch.
right. Yeah, he does some crazy ass stuff.
He was very unique. He is a very unique host, and he's very good at what he does.
So he does hosting as well?
I think he used to
the
help.
secret group or something.
They
like
used to do the fetish shows.
Oh, wow.
that? Yeah.
Was it? Yeah, it was at the secret group, right?
Yeah, because I saw that. I always saw the ad for him. I never went there, but I saw the ads for him all the damn time.
I mean, anybody that does what he does, I mean, you have that capability of
Yeah.
being a host.
Yeah, it's a very unique talent.
People pay you to talk. Like either
Yeah.
they give you a list of things that need to be talked about, and you just have to figure out how to reorganize it throughout the whole day, or you have to go up and make stuff up, which is difficult. I mean, right when I first started doing comedy, I got asked that November, started in June, it was that November, I did a lot of hosting events for, it was called the Citizens Police Academy Alumni for HPD. And they had a, what was it? It was a charity dinner. And it was basically for their families, their kids, and cops that were coming in off the beat. And it was in the auditorium downtown. And so I had to come up with 4 hours of entertainment, and it had to be clean.
Yeah.
Good luck.
That's a work.
So I was able to call in Scotty Frazier. You know,
Oh, wow,
Scotty,
yeah.
And he come out and he was like, well, I'll come out and do a set. And he ended up having so much fun that he ended up just staying the whole time. And then I had Marlo Ray, who was a local comedian. Very hands down one of the best in the city. Not the best, but there's so many, it's hard to say that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's hard to say, like, that guy's the best.
Yeah.
No, he's one
sure,
of the
yeah.
best.
Yeah, that's a
Because
good
there's
way
lot
to
of
put it.
them.
Yeah.
But it was him and Solly D, and we got heckled by the mothers against the president for mothers against drug driving.
Oh, wow.
That was interesting.
I bet.
Oh yeah.
Somebody's always unhappy, man. Well, let me ask you a question. You got that comedy event coming up, and you said it was like 40. Did you say 45 comedians?
Where?
That's what I'm asking. No, you said the one on 610 and.
Oh no, that's well, this probably won't air for a week, right? So it's every Sunday at midnight. My buddy Bao Wen hosts it, and basically,
Comedians.
yeah, it's an open mic. You get 5 minutes.
That's a
Be
long time.
funny, and it's one of those things where it's like, if a comedian wants to get booked to do a showcase, you go out to the open mic. You work out your 5 minutes.
That's your audition.
You work at no, it's not. I mean, it's an audition.
No, but guys do that. They'll
Yeah.
go from club to club, like
Yes.
they'll work on their
Yes.
tour on their game, man.
5 minutes is
Because
a long time.
I went into one club, told 5 minutes worth of jokes, none of them hit.
Wow.
Walk down the street, around the corner, go into another club, tell the same jokes, and
it's
get a
all-
room full of laughter.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I've watched guys that have killed it at the Improv and bomb in front of
yeah.
a crowd that should have killed it in.
Wow.
You know, so you just never know. You have
Yeah.
to be able to take the good with the
And,
bad.
yeah, in 5 minutes, trust me,
That's a long time.
That clock's like ticking backwards sometimes.
No, it's not.
When you're speaking, that's a long time.
No,
Yeah.
it's not.
It's not. You don't think so?
No.
I think it seems like a long time.
It's if you don't have anything to say, if you keep rolling and if you're rolling on your
Yeah.
material, then yeah, it probably.
And
is
as
very
somebody
quick.
that's been a host for 10 years, like 5 minutes is nothing. It's not enough time. You can't get that much information out in one time. You just can't. That's why, like,
maybe they should make it 10 minutes.
I'm very fortunate, and I'd really like to. I'm glad you said that because
make it 10 minutes.
I had to go to Tulsa to do a music festival. I was doing 15 minutes up in Tulsa, and I had all this material that I needed to work on, but it had taken me 2 weeks, 3 weeks to go out to all these open mics and hit 5 minutes at a time. So I just called my friend who owns a bar called The Saloon Baby over off of 525 in Aldine, Westfield.
Okay.
And her name's Misty Castor. Very good friend. I've known her for years. And I just said, hey, I got some material I got to work on. I'm going to bring out my equipment, and I'm just going to work on it. And whoever wants to sit down and listen, they can sit down and listen. So she put it out on Facebook. Hey, the first 10 people in the bar get a free beer. And so I had at least 10 people there.
Yeah.
And I did 51 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
After it was all said and done of just hanging out with the group of people that I've known forever. And so it got me thinking, like, what if we had that outlet for a comedian that needs 20 minutes?
Yeah.
That needs to go work out that 20-minute set before he's showcased next week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it hasn't been set in stone yet, but I would love that. To be able to just like say, find 2 or 3 comedians that need that time. Because it's nice to be able to just say, hey, I'm going to take my speakers and go and set up and put a tip jar out.
Yeah.
I'd love to see somebody on the north side do that.
Yeah.
Where define north side?
Spring
Kind of spring
1960 across.
North,
okay, well, so
north
this is in
Greenspoint.
Humble.
Okay.
Okay, that's still kind of north.
That's my former dwelling.
That's
The
east,
thing
north.
is that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to bring comedy to the north side.
Yeah. There's some actually pretty decent venues in Humble, though, right?
Yeah,
That do
but none
music
that
as
do
well.
comedy.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure
I
you could
used to
probably
live
try to
there,
work them
so
in
I know.
there.
Somebody just told me that somebody bought the old Blue Angel
Oh, wow.
next to Barney's.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody told me they're turning it into a comedy club. I haven't heard anything else. I haven't been there.
I mean, you got to sell it. You got to walk in there and talk to the people.
I guess. I'm not looking to do that. I got enough going on.
Well, that's good. Yeah.
I'm just trying to get. So we do a show on one Sunday a month at Two Wheels Down in Humble on Grange Road. And I'm bringing in comics. I'm trying to get comedy known.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to move to Shamrocks. And then we're going to move to Crazy Girl. And then we're going to do a ticketed event at the 59 Hangout in March in Porter. Like,
We'll talk about it. We'll promote it.
I don't want to build these shows so I have a show. I want to build these shows. I got too much going on, dude. I don't want to. I mean, excuse me. I want to, but I also want to build these shows so these other comedians will have somewhere to, they'll have work.
Yeah, they have work because if you only have one place to work, you're not going to stay in that place. But if you have multiple places to work, you're going to.
Dude, no offense to the music industry, man. The reason I am where I am right now is because of the music industry. Because of guys like Rob I could call you if I had a question, and now it's an hour and a half later, and I'm able to bounce things off of you. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for guys like that. But the music industry is so cutthroat. Nobody's helping each other.
It shouldn't be that way, but
Now, you can't say it's all, but the majority is.
it's getting harder and harder to find good places too.
Yeah. Let's just say you are headlining at the BFE Rock Club. Okay? By midnight, you're playing to the bar staff.
You're headlining at BFE at 9, 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Realistically.
None of the bands are hanging out with each other.
Yeah.
None of the bands are sitting there or staying for the show.
Hey, it used to not be that way.
And as soon as they leave, guess who else leaves?
Yeah.
Their fans.
Fans.
It seems like by 11 o'clock, everybody's like
Exactly.
hitting
You
the
want
door.
that sweet spot.
Yeah. You want this, like I said, 9:30,
Exactly.
10:30.
Yeah.
Those are your sweet spots.
That's
right there.
it. Nobody wants to play at midnight anymore.
That you're headlining at 10:30, basically.
But the comedy club, it's different.
Yeah.
Comedy club, it's different. Everybody wants to be the headliner. Everybody, because if you go to a comedy show and you're sitting in the crowd for a comedy show, you did not come there for one specific person. And if you did, it's the person playing last.
Well, I think a long time ago, people used to headline and it would work out because you had a different demographic back then.
Mm-hmm.
Younger people used to go watch all the
Clubs
shows.
were paying more, though.
Yeah, and they would pay you. It's just a big difference. Nowadays, you don't see a lot of young people
Now the
unless
clubs
it's a
want-
young club,
Exactly.
a young band.
Mm-hmm.
But after they're done, they're gone.
And
they don't
a lot
stick
of the
around.
young bands you don't want to hear anymore.
Yeah, so it's just a different time,
It is.
So
It is.
Unfortunately, it just plays into it.
Yeah.
So
Well, before it was the band or the club pay the artist.
yeah,
We're going to give you this much money to play. Now it's here's 50 tickets. We want
Yeah.
70% of that.
yeah, you're selling tickets. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Which if I hand
It's tough, yeah.
if I hand a band 10 tickets, I'm like, go sell those tickets. Those are your tickets. I didn't do anything to help you sell those tickets.
yeah.
Why should I get a cut of it? Now, I get it. I understand why. I understand the benefit of it. But if you're going to put on a show and you don't have the money to cover it, if you're putting on a show and you just don't have the money to put on that show, don't put it on a show. Don't hang your hat on your band selling your tickets.
That's the format.
That's what I love about the comedy club is you're not going to book a comedian. If you book a comedian, you're paying for it. You're paying for it because they'll look at you stupid.
Yeah,
You
because
want me to
that's a
sell
livelihood.
tickets?
Yeah, what the hell's that? Yeah.
Not that they can't,
Yeah,
but it's not their job.
yeah.
No, that dynamic's
And that's a big
changed.
argument in the whole industry, of course.
Right.
You got people that believe that it's all band,
Right.
only the
No.
band should promote. Then you'll have others that think, well, the venue should promote.
Right.
People, they argue about that all day long.
Right. That's
it's
that's how you build that respect with the artists.
Yeah.
Pay them what they're worth. Pay them what
Yeah.
they're worth.
Yeah.
I think
And
there's a
trust
few.
me, they know.
There's a few bands out there that hold their guns to it
They do.
and say, hey, I need to get paid this
But
much.
there's a lot of them that they've just conformed because they know that there's nothing they can do.
Yeah,
It's either what is it? Conform or be cast out.
yeah. I think the money. I mean, I won't even say it, but yeah.
Yeah.
There's a few.
Yes, that
there's
was
a few.
a Rush reference.
I love
There,
Rush.
there's a few venues that you'll still get paid pretty good by the door.
Yeah.
By what you bring in.
Yeah, but you got to drive too far to go to them.
Yeah, I mean, straight off.
We're trying to change that.
Yeah,
I would love to change that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to put on a free show, but you have
Yeah.
to put on some free shows before people are willing to come in and pay for it.
Yeah, you got to give them a little taste.
Yeah.
but the free shows, generate a lot of money for the venue.
And that's whenever, like, if you're working with the right venue
Yeah,
and you're working with somebody you respect on that level, like if you come in and do enough free shows, the owner of the club is going to come to you and say, all right, man, our drink sales have gone up
yeah,
40% since you started doing this. Here's your 40%.
yeah.
But, we're not
not gonna
talking
say-
about
yeah.
the most upstanding citizens here,
Everybody's trying to get their own.
So,
But yeah, we'll promote the fact that you had those going on. Yeah, I'd love to go to a few comedy shows that are not too far away. That would be awesome.
I haven't been to a comedy show in probably 30 years,
really.
like a straight up comedy show.
I got a Josh who's been with us in Vegas. When I go through to Oregon, I'm going to stop in Vegas and see him because he'll
Oh yeah, we had him on. Yeah,
he'll MC and then he does his sets too around town. So I definitely want to go catch him there. But yeah, I'd love to see some local.
This whole podcast concept, this is more like a radio show.
Yeah, everybody's got a goddamn podcast now too.
Everybody's got a
Everybody.
podcast. But, I think isn't the difference between a podcast and a radio show is the video aspect of it?
No, I mean it
No.
could be live.
yeah. Radio's usually live.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think. Yeah.
Well, yeah, radio's, not
Well, you
anymore.
have internet.
Not anymore?
It
radio.
may sound live, but
Oh wow.
Yeah, I know you don't.
you know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. They'll have one of their DJs come in and, they'll record time slots.
Wow.
Like if you've got, let's just say you've got a DJ that's a very well-known DJ and they play at 3:00 on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's just say that DJ's playing on Saturday. He's covering for somebody on Saturday. He's not actually there. Now, I'm not saying that's all of it. Every time, but
recorded the tape.
They just record timestamps, time slots. You know, they're being told what to say.
Yeah.
Well,
most times.
That's changed a lot, man.
In which way?
Well, I mean, listen to
The way radio is.
Yeah.
I mean, back in the day, it was live, I think. You could tell.
Listen to Tom Petty's.
Oh, yeah, back then, yeah.
Yeah, Tom Petty's song, The Last DJ, it's pretty much sums it up. He was kind of a rebel against the industry anyhow, so yeah.
That's why I haven't put too much effort into trying to do a show.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're going to, you are literally on your own. You promote
I mean,
it,
you're doing right though. You're out there. You're keeping busy.
but we can only do what we think is right.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: in the future, should we plan an episode and get you with Bill?
I would love that.
Let's do it, man.
Yeah, I'm definitely in. I'd love to.
So, I mean, how long do y'all shows usually go?
Like right now, we're at 50 minutes.
About like this.
Yeah, about like this.
We usually do an
It's
hour.
weird because I don't feel like I've been sitting here for 50 minutes.
Exactly.
No,
yeah.
because it's so
Exactly,
much
yeah.
good. Yeah.
Well, you know, it's hard to structure too, especially whenever you're just having a conversation with two people.
Well,
and
we
hanging
like
out.
to just kind of just have a straight up conversation. And
Yeah,
not
'cause we
try to get it too technical and
that was Rob's
structure.
idea that we go from the hip, and he was right. I mean, it's worked out really well, and we're getting close to 100 episodes.
Man, if you try to format,
and we
too
try not
much-
to go like 3 hours. We'd rather have you out another time, and that way we're like re-energized and we might bring something else to the table. You know?
Yeah, because we can focus on another subject
Right.
at that time. You know, like
Well, before, are y'all looking to wrap this up? I'm assuming.
I mean, we're getting there.
I want to, touch on some of the clubs that I play at.
touch. That's what we want to talk about. Yeah.
So where can we see you
Tuesday night
play? You mean play like DJ?
karaoke.
Your
Karaoke
karaoke
is
show.
Tuesday night from 8 to midnight at a place called Nowhere Lounge,
In Houston, Texas.
and it's in Porter.
Porter, Texas.
That's a long
Porter,
way.
Texas. Yeah, you can't tell somebody you're from Porter, Texas, without sounding like you're from Porter,
Yeah.
Texas.
Now, look, is it still there? You know, they had a tornado yesterday. So
Sadie Williams said it's
You
still
know
there.
what? You know what? One of my very good friends, PJ, he lost quite a bit yesterday,
Yeah, they had a lot of storms.
and you know,
Porter Heights had some friends that live right there, and on 13, 14, it was real close to their house, man.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of people out there that need some help right now. So
Yeah.
if you know somebody, reach out to them because
Yeah, it's all over Facebook, you know. So Reach
everything's on Facebook. But,
yeah,
but yeah, I'll be there on Tuesday
Is
from
that
8 to midnight.
Every Tuesday?
Every Tuesday. I've been there for almost 3 years.
Well, I can make that happen.
Yeah?
Yeah, we're going to have to become better friends now, man.
Yeah.
Because I'll go. I'll love it. Yeah.
I love doing karaoke, man. But Monday nights, I'm at a place called Soho Chicken in Chinatown, over off of Bel Air.
okay.
Real cool little,
Karaoke.
I think it's a Korean bar.
Wow.
Very cool little spot. 8 to midnight. And then Friday night, I'm at Porky's Bar in Cut and Shoot. Not to be confused with the Porky's.
Yeah, on the movie.
No. There's another one that just opened up. It's Porky's Backyard or something like that over in Atascocita.
Okay.
But it's not affiliated.
Cut and Shoot's a little bit away from
Now,
Pasadena, yeah.
Porky's Bar and Cut and Shoot is like when you think of the movie Porky's.
Porky's,
like,
yeah,
that's exactly
It's a
what
middle
you
of-
get when
from
you
nowhere,
walk in
yeah.
there, you know. Oh, Porky!
Is it,
The
got a pig
boys
with-
from Angel Beach are here.
Yeah, that's right, man. Yeah. Now, I know Rob and I want to go to Porter and do Summer Lovin' from Greece. We want to do that song together. We've been cutting it for a while.
I'll do it, man. Don't think I won't. I like some stage time.
And then Saturdays, I'm at the 59 Hangout.
I heard of that place.
It's right at 1314 and 59.
Okay, yeah.
As soon as you turn to go southbound on 59, it's next to a little...
Starbucks or what?
Yeah, there's a McDonald's, Starbucks,
Shipley's.
and
Yeah.
Pat's Donuts is right there.
I know it. Yeah.
Doug knows that place.
It's right. It used to be called Rumors.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
Because
I've heard of that place.
My friends that live in Bennett Estates, which is right down from Porter Heights,
Yeah.
they saw it going yesterday. The stormy, and
Oh, wow.
I used to live in Foxwoods, so
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So
Right, dude, I grew up. You remember where the Big Daddy's motorcycle shop used to be?
that was before my time.
On 1314, it was like there was an Exxon. Now it's a nail salon. It's called Mimi's Nails now, but
Okay, yeah.
I lived there my whole life.
Now you're way out.
Right down from Porter Heights.
Yeah,
No, I
You're-
live in
you're out that
Cleveland.
way.
I'm in Cleveland
Yeah.
now.
Cleveland Rock.
You've been there
Yeah,
for a while, though.
we bought a house in Cleveland about 5 years ago.
Does
Okay.
Cleveland still rock? Does Cleveland still rock?
No, no, I don't think it ever
That
did.
Cleveland, Texas, is a different story.
Well, I mean, it's like I bought it because it's a 10-year. I call it my 10-year house.
Yeah.
You know, I got about 10 years before the construction makes it that far.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
You know,
racing
and then
out.
you got to get farther out.
Oh, I know.
There's some good people.
Taxes
There's some good people
slowly
still
go
out in
up.
Cleveland, though.
Move
Oh
to-
yeah,
move
Yeah.
to- move to-
Cleveland,
move to-
Tarkington,
Move the Crockett.
Tarkington.
Tarkington.
I really want everyone to know that Tarkington ISD has some serious flaws.
Really? Wow.
Let me ask you this: how would you feel if your 6-year-old was riding the bus with high school kids?
Not too comfortable with
How
that.
does anybody feel about that? Like, I want to hear. Like, as soon as this airs,
Is that just a small town thing? I guess.
no. I don't even think so because I grew up in a small town.
Yeah.
And not once did I ever experience that. Like,
That is a little weird.
I want to know. I really do. It's a big deal right now. I've got a lot of. I'm fighting a school. It's a big deal.
Are you in
Like,
Tarkington school?
my daughter does. My
Okay.
daughter goes to Tarkington ISD, and they think it's so okay.
Wow.
No,
They think
not
it's okay.
in this day and age.
They
I
think it's
don't
okay. They think it's okay.
Interesting. Yeah.
And the problem is there's all the people on the board are all like big landowners.
Well, you get
Been there since Moby.
you get out in East Texas. That's what you're going to
As
get.
soon as you start pushing the narrative, and this is from what I've been told from other parents, as soon as you start pushing issues that do not float with their narrative, your kid starts becoming a problem.
Yeah.
And now there's some issues. And,
Huh. Interesting.
and
Yeah. Well, good luck with that, man. I hope
Well,
that.
the thing is like, I want to know. So when is
I'm
there a
sure
way
most
for
people wouldn't want that.
is there a way for people to comment like whenever this episode drops?
Yeah.
on the
Yeah, we can do that. We'll,
maybe?
yeah, there is.
I want to know.
Yeah.
Because if I could get a petition, because they think it's completely okay. They don't want to change any of it. They don't want to. They just think it's normal.
I think that touches with politics.
Back in a
though.
Catholic school. Back,
No, not on politics. It's just
no.
It's school
Back-
politics, though. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a,
It's school politics.
Is it?
Oh, absolutely.
I think it more so is like my children's safety
It
no, and
is.
I agree.
It
I
is.
agree, especially with a public school. When I used to go to,
because I hate politics.
But it's all about money, right?
oh yeah,
I don't know. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's about my child's safety.
Well, they don't want to.
that's first and foremost.
They don't want to
yeah.
add enough buses because it costs money.
I don't care.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
it should be. I agree. It should be separate.
It's about safety.
And if you add more buses, then you got to raise the property taxes.
Oh, don't do that.
So
Yeah, fair enough. I don't like
See what I'm
politics.
saying?
Yeah, dude, you're right.
it's
know.
politics.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
You need a button every time somebody starts talking about
So then,
politics.
so then you get another proposition bill that needs to be voted on
Dad, we're
by
not
Tarkington
going.
residents. You know?
Stop it! God damn it!
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Man, it just didn't feel like an hour, dude.
well.
We're there.
We've had good times with Goodtime Charlie,
That's right.
Yeah.
Always a good time.
and we will have you back because we'll specifically bring that. Like I said, we'll pick and choose. We'll like, hey, let's focus on that subject when we talk to him again. So that's we'll do that.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm glad you're still
You know what?
doing
I'm
it.
so sorry.
entertaining.
I totally forgot, dude. After the first of the year, I will be at a place called the 1485 Ice House
Okay.
on
Cool.
Thursdays
1485. That's New
doing
Caney.
Singo.
That's New Caney, right?
Yeah,
New Caney.
Okay. Yeah.
doing Singo. Have y'all ever heard of Singo?
No.
It's music bingo. And it's
Interesting.
becoming a big, it's gambling, really, is what
Huh.
it is.
That's
it's like-
legal?
well, bingo. Bingo's gambling, no?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
You come in, you buy a bunch of cards. And
Yeah.
you
That's exactly what.
So,
it
but
is.
it is, instead of pulling numbers,
Singo.
instead of pulling numbers and B52, it's
The B-52s.
It's instead of B52, it's the B52.
B52s.
Yeah, there you go.
Awesome.
Yeah. But you play 15 seconds of a song, and if it's on the card,
No way.
you mark it off.
Ooh,
and,
I'd like to do that.
I've never heard that.
So, like,
That sounds
however
fun.
much money goes into the pot,
I would think I'd like to play that.
it's a blast.
What is this?
Yeah.
After the first of the year, it'll be at the 1485 Ice House.
Ice House.
Where's that?
1485 House.
It's on 1485.
I'm trying to think where that is.
Close to- it's
1485
New Caney.
West.
Now we have listeners all over the
It's like
country.
New Caney.
So, yeah, you
Yeah.
have- yeah. So this is New
New
Caney.
Caney,
It's
Texas.
in New Caney. New
Yeah,
Caney,
he's
Texas.
talking a lot of stuff about Northeast Houston people.
Yeah.
People.
So it's one of those places where, like, if you have to ask where it's at, you probably don't want to know.
Yeah.
I actually know. I want to go now.
1485's changed so much, man.
It has
lately. It's
a whole
it's
lot.
crazy.
Like,
Yeah.
there's that.
Development
It's not that
outrageous.
bad. It's a town that's known for its meth distribution, but like it's not so bad. Like it's like having
Yeah,
its own
Porter's the same
built-in community service system. There's no aluminum cans anywhere to be found.
Yeah. Porter's the same way, man.
Interesting.
Porter gets a rough rap too.
It does. It
but
really does.
It's changed so much out there.
Yeah, we got 2 Walmarts now.
Yeah. It's crazy.
That's right. You sure do.
That was the only difference between New Caney and Porter for years was Porter's got the Walmart and New Caney's got the Berkshire Brothers.
Yep.
Now you got your own.
And they got the big distribution center out there too.
And they sell. Hey, they
Oh
sell.
yeah, I worked there for
a monster.
I worked there for about 2 years. It's
Yeah.
horrible. Place sucks.
Just push my product. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
Just what?
Just
Push my product.
just
That's
sell
all
the
I care about.
saturates.
What product?
Tony Satchery's Creole seasoning.
It's yours?
Yep. That's Doug Satchery.
What?
That's Doug Satchery.
We're keeping it a secret. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll talk more about it later.
We'll talk about it later.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining the Nonsense Chronicles today.
That's right.
Please follow. Good
Oh
Times.
yes.
Give us some social media to follow.
I'm so bad about social media. I'm so bad. I hate
YouTube?
Yes, YouTube at Filthy Nasty Comedy. All one word. Filthy Nasty Comedy. Please go subscribe. I don't know nothing. I don't know anything about social media or YouTube.
Gotta get with it, man.
But I've got some videos up there. I got a 20-minute comedy special that I shot at the BFE Rock Club.
Okay.
So y'all go check that out.
Cool.
Instagram, Goodtime Charlie Live. Again, all one word. Goodtime Charlie Live. Instagram. And then Facebook is just Goodtime, one word, Charlie.
And hopefully we'll see you back at Live at Bill's.
Yes.
Keep that quiet, goddammit.
No, this not. I'd really like to be back over there.
We're trying to get in. We're trying
we
to get that
will,
going
and
again.
we'll have them
We want
on
it.
because
Yeah.
like I said,
I would love to bring Bill over here and
Yeah.
sit down.
He's
Again,
cool, yeah.
you've got to. If you're going to bring Bill and me over here, you're going to have probably one of your longest episodes you've ever
we'll
had.
bring it. You bring it. Well, I don't know. John Janash, is he still John? Is still number one?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, Dave tried to
longest
beat him,
one.
but
Yeah.
I think John is number
Yeah.
one.
John Janash had the longest.
Yeah, can you beat John? Could you know John? Did you?
If
know,
you, dude, if we could, I could sit here and talk to you guys for the next
Yeah.
2 hours,
did
sir.
Did you know John?
Oh yes, of
Yeah.
course.
Well, then you know John could bring it when it
Oh,
comes
yeah.
to talk. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He could speak.
That's the gift of gab is a curse.
Yeah.
Like the thing is I don't feel like I've been sitting here with you guys for an hour.
Yeah.
I could sit here and talk for another 20. Or I could sit here and talk for another 2 hours.
No,
Oh,
bro,
yeah,
this
definitely.
has been good. You
No,
did
it
good.
sounds like
Yeah.
y'all are really ready to wrap this up. So
Yeah.
y'all
That's
need
why
to
we tried to
stop
get you
hitting me
at
with
1.
new subjects.
I'm doing
Yeah,
like this.
I would love to have been here at 1 o'clock today.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do it
But
again.
it sounds like I helped you out quite a bit.
You did, man. I couldn't ask for it, but I'm glad that when you did.
Yeah. Dougie needs his naps, man.
I felt like an asshole.
No,
no,
you
but-
did. You did fine, man. I didn't mind pushing it today. And we're pretty flexible.
Yeah.
At a rare occasion where we can't, where you got practice or I got to travel,
Yep.
we couldn't do it. But no.
All right, let's wrap it up.
Today was fun. Okay, man.
Let's go.
All right.
Okay.
This has been the Nonsense Chronicles. Please like and subscribe. And then, like I said, follow all the Good Time Charlie stuff.
That's right.
Find that filthy, nasty comedy
Filthy, nasty comedy.
on YouTube. I think that's what's going to draw you in, and then you can get his Instagram and all that kind of fun.
Thanks for
stuff.
being here, man.
Thank you
That's
guys
cool.
for having me.
We'll do it again.
Hey, just remember, it doesn't suck yet.
No.
But if you clear your throat and point at it a few more times, it might.
boom, and with that, we're out of here.
Later.